moments of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Packer Bryan Bulaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day, the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Good afternoon, Bryan. Can they get a Bulaga? Can they get a Bulaga in the first round? Yes or no?
Yeah, they can.
Okay.
They can find one. They can certainly find one, for sure.
It's tough, though. I don't know. Somebody can look back and see what the how many first-round picks play as you did 10 years. Probably not that many, but still, yeah. All right, we are on hold because Ben Brust is here because he's got an event coming up, and this is the perfect time because if you want Kelvin Sampson to win a championship, then you should root for him because as great as it can be, if you lose the championship game, it's a different club.
It sure is a different club, and
but it's still a great year. People remember the greatest. But
for sure.
think of Rick Majerus. If Majerus wins it when he has Utah in the championship game, he's viewed entirely differently.
Did Bo Ryan change his outlook because he just made a Final Four and lost the championship?
And he's still in the Hall of Fame. But imagine he wouldn't correct.
resume.
I mean, then he would have been a national champion D3 and D1.
I'm only the West Regional
then be
champion.
The greatest coach in the history of the University of Wisconsin.
Yes.
Barry Alvarez would have to bow to his birthplace.
And so there's a lot going on in the NIL world right now. I saw you get into the action on Twitter.
Well, the announcement's supposed to come today from the court case in California.
About NIL paybacks.
Well, the case between
Chris Jenkins.
Oh, no, that's new one.
That's a new one.
This is whether the judge sides and accepts the NCAA's plan for what they're going to do. The judge could say, sorry, I'm not going to agree.
And right now it is paybacks only until 2016.
Correct.
So said 2015 Final Four Wisconsin Badger runner-up, and then Team I was on in 14. We're left out.
No, Frank will be suing somebody. Frank should.
I just somebody smarter than me needs to sue so I can get in the lawsuit.
Why did they start in 2016?
They made up a year, in my opinion.
And then when you went, then somebody in 2010.
Like, what the
Tony
hell?
Smith is going to be in on it.
Balaga's going to be in on
enough
it.
on that so they can die, because this is the event that's going on.
Well, the reason why I mention all of this is because it's very rare to have what was Frank Kaminsky, a 4-year player who became National Player of the Year at Wisconsin. Sam Decker grew up in Wisconsin, had offers to major schools outside of Wisconsin, did his 3 years before going pro at Wisconsin. Bronson Koenig, offers from UNC, went to Wisconsin. Josh Gosser, 4-year guy who was there 5 years. You have a team where a lot of people miss the building of players and the relationship with players, that we're doing an event to celebrate the 2015 championship runner-up team 10 years ago. Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, Josh Gosser, Bo Ryan, all going to be there. And it's going to be June 26th at 7 p.m. at the Orpheum in Madison, presented by Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, Potosi Hard Seltzer, and M3 Insurance. You can get your tickets at uwhoops2015.com. That is uwhoops2015.com. And I'm just excited because I know that there's a connection with the state of Wisconsin with these players, because before all of this NIL, there was an opportunity to grow, develop, be at a school for a long period of time. You develop a stronger relationship with the players. And the fans loved these teams, and specifically this team, because of who they were off and on the court. So an opportunity to get them together. Obviously, Homer, there's going to be stuff people want to know from a basketball perspective, but getting them on stage, I want people to know the behind-the-scenes stuff.
All right, let's go. What was it? Down 9 with 14 minutes to go, or no, up 9 with 14 minutes to go, or up 14 with 9 minutes to go. What was it? I don't remember exactly.
I believe it was up 9.
Yeah.
Now,
because I asked Bo Ryan that question after the event.
Question that I put it out there.
He made fun of me, too. I've never forgiven him.
Wisconsin was up against Duke, and they played that scenario 100 times, I think they win 75 of them. if not more, based off how good that team was. I want to ask Bo, because he's never really opened up.
You got screwed.
They complain about the reffing. Obviously,
well, the officiating
Coach K
was
walked out
right.
with the officials at halftime. If Bo would have walked out, what would he have said, or would he have said anything?
No, Bo made a mistake, and I'll be glad to tell him.
What's that?
Should have taken a technical early in the second half when they started officiating differently.
And he's not opposed to doing that.
No, he had.
But he didn't have to do that the entire year because his team was so good.
Again, I know Bo privately, when was told of that with Coach K or saw it,
he would have done something about it.
No, he would have thought this is, now officials do change from the first and second half in many games.
Of course, but that was drastic.
Back then, I just thought early in the second half when there was a first foul, and I'm sure Bo Ryan thought, this is BS. That's when you take a technical.
So, to me, though, they still made plays to win. Grayson Allen came off the bench before he was Grayson Allen.
One of the greatest flukes of all time.
Yeah, but
he's the last guy on the bench. There was nobody scored.
Put this guy
in. Yes. I didn't realize.
I get it, but it is Duke. You usually have a plethora of talent that somebody could come in and be really good. It's on the scouting report. Is it not?
What?
That, hey, this guy might not play, but when he came in, he has the ability to go off.
Well, but I wouldn't worry about that because if he was going off, he'd have played more.
Well, he did.
Coach K never played. I'd have to go back. He didn't play much that season.
Not a lot, but enough that you have to be aware of what he could potentially do. Despite the fact
it was just a fluke.
It was.
But the officiating, that's the question I would ask Bo, because that's the kind of thing.
And that's the first thing people think about when that game, it's the officiating. It's hard for me, and I wonder what Bryan's perspective is, because now we're on officiating. I try to never blame officials in any scenario. I just feel like it's a cop-out because you have opportunities to do more inside the game than the officials can affect it, but then you have these sports betting things where they can affect it. Where are you on blaming officials, Bryan?
Yeah, while I was playing, I always tried to think to myself that, we can control more than what they can, right? Like, I always, in my head, thought that they can't impact the game that much, right? That was what I always thought. And now that I'm out of it, right, and you see everything that's going on, right? Like, you see these calls. I watch the NFL more now than ever. Right. And you see the wild things that happen. And I mentioned it the other day. I was watching the Houston Duke game just the other day. There is a foul called every trip down the court. It's getting ridiculous. They don't even let them play for a trip down the court. The refs are impacting the game. They are a part of the game. They're not just there being managing the game. It's getting out of hand. So,
well, Bryan, there are Twitter accounts that are obviously burners that people make of referees saying this guy's got the game. He's the high step knee guy. And you know why they're doing that?
We called him that many years ago.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You know why he's doing that? Because he's making it about him a little bit. Gene Steratore was the best referee in college basketball. You know why? Because you could talk to him. And he's a human being. I always tried to.
What did I say about football too, Homer? What did I say about the NFL?
Yeah.
Who was the best ref that I said?
Gene.
Yes,
same guy.
Thank you.
And I just,
every game.
What do you mean you have to talk to you? I never understood that. I was an official for tennis matches and something. They're like, well, I said, I don't need to talk to you. I know the rules. My job is to call the rules.
Yeah,
we don't need to be
but
best buddies. Just get over on your side and play.
Something that might be a little bit more, am I letting one arm go or am I calling that foul? So I would always, before every game, talk to the referees, get their human side. So just in case I was in a 50-50 call, they're humans, Homer. Get the benefit of the doubt.
Then you better hope. Then you'd be glad I wasn't the official.
I know, and that's why you weren't.
I don't care if you're Mother Teresa or Mr. Rogers. Whatever you did is a foul or it's not a foul.
Yeah, but
that guy made the call.
How it works.
I don't know that it is or isn't.
They're human beings, and you say that now, but if I buttered you up before a game, you'd be like, I like that kid. Charge call.
No, you would learn. They would say, with True, don't butter him up. He'll call it against you if you try to butter him up. If you think I'm such a bad ref that our chit-chat is going to change my call, you're getting the bad call.
You'll love this, Homer. I went to a UWM game, and I saw one of the referees that reffed my games, and I went up at the media timeout with 8 minutes to go, under 8. I was on the court dapping him up. He's like, Ben, how are you? You know, like you get to know these
no,
guys.
you're
and you
clearly
get the
right. There was an
They're
official
human
years
beings.
ago, Steve Welmer. He was about 6'11", great official. And we had this debate, and he said, I agree with you, Homer, but that's not what we're told to do. We are told to interact with the coaches. That's what we're told to do. So we do it.
That's bad advice.
Well,
then you're
that's what
heavily
his
influenced.
answer was. What? I don't
You
know.
interact,
They feel,
you're influenced. They're human beings. They're not robots. They don't see foul.
Yeah,
and go
then
foul.
that's why I want to get
They
rid of
may
them.
see
That's why I
foul.
want robots.
Yeah, you want robots.
Yes. I don't want any human element in officiating.
Yeah, but I disagree because
Like
then
the
it becomes
guy-
boring and stale. I like the drama of it.
Well, good to go by the rules. Here's the best example. Watch tennis. Tennis used to be a mess. They were arguing with the calls all the time. Now, everything's done, and now they just play tennis. You watch them play tennis, and the crazy people
and
have
then
to
we
come up with other stuff.
Clap.
No.
Go to the video board. See if it was in and out.
Yes, if the shot's good, so they have to come up with other stuff. There's no need for a human element. They're changing it in the NFL, right?
I disagree. I disagree.
Here we go.
I
Brian,
disagree.
I am so in
disagree.
lockstep with you.
How pathetic is it in the NFL with the holding call? You agree with it. Holding can be called on every play. There's no rule in any sport that should be judged that way. You judge it that way, right? It could be called on every play, right? You agree with that?
Absolutely.
They got to change the rule then.
But what do you change it to? You got to go back to block with your forearms?
Whatever. I'll let you judge. I'll let you judge.
That wouldn't be good for short arms Bulaga.
No, it would be terrible for me. I would have like 10-inch arms then. Like I could
right.
never block.
You come up with a rule so that offensive lineman would know what you can and can't do. I don't think it would be that hard.
Look, it's the Brian Bulaga Homer Hour.
yeah,
I'm
sorry,
just going to
okay.
read the
tell Bo.
website, uwhoops2015.com, brought to you by Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, Potosi Seltzer, and M3 Insurance. It's going to be at the Orpheum, 7 p.m. on June 26th. Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, Josh Gosser, Bo Ryan, many others. Lot planned to see these guys live and in person.
Have you invited Coach K? So he can admit he shouldn't have won that
So
game?
that's the thing. I have some tricks up my sleeve, Homer. So that's why you got to stay tuned. That's why you got to stay tuned.
What does that mean?
You got to have surprises at a live event. You can't tell everyone what's going to go on. Otherwise, there's no reason to go.
Let me give you a little tip. If what you have is that good, you would want to tell them early.
Huh? I've seen some
What do you say
surprises
about
work.
What do you say about that? If Brian Bulaga has an event and it's with all the former players and he knows that Kirk Ferentz is coming, I think you need to tell people ahead of time.
Well, I mean, that'd be like, Bo Ryan's coming.
Right,
So,
but
like,
Ben Brust acts like he has somebody special in the woods.
That's why you got your tickets at uwhoops2015.com.
I mean, he should have someone from Duke to admit that they cheated or something like that.
You can get Wojo. Was he on the staff? No, he wasn't on the staff.
Now you're thinking, Homer.
Now I'm thinking. But they're not going to admit it.
In private, if I
Just
catch
get him. Just get everybody to boo.
I got people. I got people everywhere, Homer.
You got people everywhere. All right.
uwhoops2015.com. Enjoy.
Are you
Brian
the
Bulaga
secret
Homer
guest, Brian?
You don't want me to come talk about basketball. Just put it that way.
You could play for Houston.
No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
You could use all five?
I could use all five. Yeah, I could use all five. That's for
You'd
sure.
lead the NCAA in fouls per second.
Yep, I
Since
would
you're
use
here,
all five.
who's going to win the game tonight?
I got Houston.
Do you?
I'm taking Houston. Yep,
Okay.
I'm taking Houston.
Oh, I hope he does, because that's what to be at a certain level. Otherwise, he'll just be remembered as a really good coach. But
I want the Dogs. They're athletic. They defend. They're like ruthless. If you are going to pick a team that's going to win one game in a do or die, those guys are the guys I'm going down with.
for the first time, he does have a few people who can shoot.
Correct.
So they can score.
Yes.
But
if LJ Cryer doesn't make shots, they have somebody else.
Florida is so deep and has so many players, they'll be able to. The only way they can stay with that physical play is because they can just keep subbing people in. You don't have to play the whole time.
Doesn't matter if there's nowhere to go on the floor.
Yes, the story is how they'll cover the kid from Florida who's been so good.
Clayton, yep.
Yes, and every guy will probably guard him at some point.
Rotate them. Get them annoyed.
All right, what is again? uwhoops2015.com with a secret guest coming. Is it Coach K between you and me?
No.
Okay.
Maybe.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Who would you? I can tell you who I'd bring. It's not even close. It's above Coach K. Christian Laettner.
I don't have his appearance fee for that one.
I don't know that he has one. He's pretty much past his prime. Bobby Hurley.
Are you trying to get yourself to come to the event now?
No, I'm not coming to the event. Let's see. Who is there's an JJ. Yeah, excellent.
JJ Redick?
Yes.
Is that
that was
a Pebble?
Pebble said that. Yes, that would be good. Yeah, we're just giving you heads. So you already have someone.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Just say yes if you aren't telling us who it is. There will be someone there who is of note and is not listed. Yes or no?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Brian, you take that as a yes?
Yeah, I mean,
no.
yeah.
So why? Okay, let me ask you, Brian. So why won't he just say yes? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like what? They're going to put him in jail if he says yes? He's still not saying he would.
It's embargoed information.
He wants everybody to know. Ooh, it could be somebody Bo knows too.
What the mystery is? It's the mystery.
It's the mystery. But let me tell your peeps, if the mystery's that good, you don't want to keep it a mystery.
Working on it, Homer.
Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound on 43. We got some backups basically from State Street all the way up to Keefe. Southbound not looking too bad. It's a little bit slow heading through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Westbound 94, that's delayed from about 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound on 41, got a little bit of a backup between Silver Spring and just south of Hampton. And then we've also got a little bit of a backup westbound 894, leaving the Mitchell interchange heading towards Loomis. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, clearing skies, cold with a low of 22. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 39. Weather is brought to you by Tsunami Express Car Wash. Visit any of their 6 locations in the Milwaukee market today. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com. Wash, chill, repeat. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab, that's his favorite. And the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
For their accounts payable workflow, Junior Achievement of Wisconsin implemented a document management and workflow automation solution from James Imaging Systems. Junior Achievement Vice President of Enterprise Services, Lori Salzman, highlights the positive impact.
That impact has made it much more streamlined for us to handle the entire process from receiving an invoice to having it paid.
How has streamlining your accounts payable workflow benefited Junior Achievement's mission?
It has allowed us to be more on mission and strategically reach out and expand our impact to be able to reach more students.
If others are looking for workflow automation solutions to better serve their clients or customers, what's your suggestion?
If anybody is looking for a good partner that is there to help find solutions, call James Imaging.
Content management and workflow automation from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Looking for a Milwaukee tradition? It's Saz, and for nearly 50 years, Saz's have been serving up award-winning ribs that'll make your taste buds dance. Don't miss our festival-famous mozzarella marinara, the appetizer that put us on the map and keeps Milwaukee coming back for more. Whether you're heading to a game or just catching up with family and friends, make Saz's your place to go. 55th and State. Saz's, where memories are made and stories are shared, one delicious bite at a time. Saz's Steakhouse, the finest. A Milwaukee tradition since 1976.
Hey football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets for the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone where you'll be taken care of like a first-round pick. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois. Age 21 years or older. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour, yes, on YouTube now. That's the new thing. Am I right, Pebble? Everybody watches on YouTube. They used to listen over the podcast.
Yeah, but I can actually see you on YouTube, too, so you get the best of both worlds, watching you and listening to you.
I guess that's the new world. In all the radio I listened to, I never had any interest in actually seeing the person. But I guess times have changed, and that's fine. And they have the questions of the chat on YouTube, because Brian always wants questions. If you have questions, let's go. 1-800-990-3776, or go to youtube.com. Where do we send them there? ESPN Milwaukee?
Go to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Yeah. Great first question. Why does Homer yell so much?
That's for you.
No, these are for you. What's your answer?
I think that's just how you like to get your point across. To me, that's just how you like to get your point across to the listeners. That's it.
All right. My answer would be, I don't think I yell that much.
Okay.
But clearly I'm wrong because people bring it up. And I don't have an answer. Even when I speak, people will say, "Why are you loud?" I said, I don't have an answer. Will Bryan be announcing a pick this year in Green Bay? Great question. That's our Institute president, Sean. Do you have a role in the draft in Green Bay, Bryan Bulaga?
I have not been contacted by the Packers nor the NFL to be a part of this year's draft. So no, I am not. I'm just I'm part of the ESPN Milwaukee's festivities. I'm going to be up there with the guys and sponsors and doing stuff up there for a few days and doing some live shows and being with some of the national ESPN guys at whatever we got going on. So that's what I'll be doing, but nothing with the Packers. I've not gotten that call.
For those who don't know, give them your history of participation for the Packers at the draft.
Yeah, so last year I was asked to read the picks for the Packers. I got both. I was asked to do the second and third round. The Packers, they got 2 second-round picks in Detroit, and I was booed pretty viciously by the Detroit crowd. It was actually, I felt pretty good about it. That means that they were stung by my presence, which means that there must have been a lot of games won in my time in Green Bay that they felt that, they didn't like me back in their state. So I don't know what my record was against the Lions in my 10 years. But we might have lost 4 games. So, you do that, 20 games, maybe 16 and 20 or 15 and 20, something like that. Something in that ballpark. So I got booed. Probably rightfully so, I got booed.
You whooped them. Were you surprised that you were booed?
No, I expected some boos. I expected some boos, but the duration and the volume was pretty spectacular. I will put it that way. It was pretty good. Like, there were a lot of people in that venue, and I felt like probably 90% of them were booing me at the time. Because, like, if it was Bears fans, Vikings fans, I feel like a lot of people boo Green Bay Packers, right? Like, I just feel like a lot of fan bases, because obviously the Packers have had a bunch of success over their time, right? I mean, they're a successful franchise. So a lot of people envy that. So I think whenever former players come out, they just get booed, and that's just the way it goes. So I think it was a lot against a little. I mean, there was a little section of Packers fans there. They were cheering, but that got drowned out pretty easily. We'll put it that way.
Got a question here for Bryan Homer on the ESPN Milwaukee Talking Text line. The Carbless Talking Text line lists as more. 800-990-3776 if you want to get your question in for Bryan. From John says, question for Bryan, what was the least favorite city or organization to visit based on the facilities provided to the visiting team?
Ooh.
Good question. Philly.
No, Philly's facilities were fine.
But their fans were the meanest, right?
Oh yeah, the fans were mean.
Yeah,
the fans were mean. I remember my rookie year when we went there. We went there obviously the first game of the year. We beat them then. And then we went back there for that playoff game, and I remember we won. And Doug, head of security, as the game was winding down, Doug was walking up and down the sidelines and was telling us, "Hey, leave your helmets on as you're going back into the tunnel." And everyone's like, "What? Like, just leave your helmets on?" And lo and behold, guys were getting stuff chucked at them and pelted with stuff. I mean, it was unbelievable. And not just like, plastic cups. It was like hard items. How'd you get that into the stadium type items? So yeah, they're the Philly fans like to get after it, but probably the worst facility, and just overall bad. I mean, I'll say this: Washington, FedEx Field, absolute bad facility, bad grass.
Explain bad facility. Like no bathrooms, or the lockers were small, or
very small. Just crummy.
Worse than some college places, or not?
On par with some college places. And what was also really bad, and this, it doesn't shock me. Was the old Minnesota Vikings dome. What was that, the Metrodome? Is that what that was?
Yes.
That was terrible. I'll put it that way. That might have been the worst because, maybe 2 stalls with curtains over them, maybe like 4 shower heads, little baseball lockers for guys to be in. I mean, it was very tight quarters. A stairway that was like straight downhill to go down to the field, and then football cleats and pads. You could barely fit through the hallway to go down. Like it was very. It was not a good atmosphere for the road team. We'll put it that way. Now the new stadium's gorgeous. It's fantastic for the away team. They almost spoiled the away team in that new locker room. It's actually crazy they made it so nice. But
which must have shocked you.
Yes, it did. When I walked in that stadium for the first time, when that visitor's locker room, I was like, wow, the change from here to the old places. I thought they were gonna do a replica of the Metrodome to here to treat the visiting team the same. But it is an enormous locker room. It's beautiful too. Really nice. They spoil the visiting team now.
The questions continue. Max, again, this is YouTube. How do you feel about the Pack bringing in top wide receivers for draft visits?
Well, we had Jason on, the last time we spoke, and he talked about how a lot of the times, or at least the last few years, when Goody brings guys in, he's drafted guys, the guys that he's brought in for visits. So there's something to these visits and him bringing in receivers. Now, we've talked about it. There's a good chance that a receiver is taken in the 2nd or 3rd round or somewhere in that area. Like, I'm not saying it's the first. Chances are it's not going to be the first, but there's a chance that wide receiver is a position that gets taken in the 2nd or 3rd. So, like, I put some stock in it that they're bringing guys in to take a look at, to talk to get to know, because not just looking forward towards the future, but just for this season now. I mean, they're looking to make sure that room has enough depth as well, right? Like they're making sure that room has enough guys that they can count on as the season goes on as well. I mean, guys, things happen throughout a year, right? And already right now, with Watson being out till towards the end of the season with his knee as he's rehabbing to come back. Dobbs has had his head injuries. They're not something to mess around with. So we don't know kind of his stats. I get he's had a whole offseason to recover from those, but like still, those things aren't a thing to mess around with. They just aren't. They're tricky. So now you look at the room and you know, assuming Dobbs is okay, but you just don't know. You look at Wicks and Reed. So like you got to make sure, and Hardman, I understand, but we don't know his role yet. You got to bring in guys for depth and guys that can count on for the future. So I wouldn't be shocked if they take wideouts.
I would be willing to wager whatever anybody wants to that a second or third round pick will be a wide receiver or tight end. 2019, third round, Sternberger, tight end. 2018, no second or third, but Jamon Moore the fourth, so it was close. 2020, DeGuara, third round, tight end. 2021, Amari Rodgers, third round, wide receiver. 2022, second round, Christian Watson. 2023, second round, Luke Musgrave. Second round, Javon Reed. Third round, Tucker Kraft. Last year, nope, 2 defensive players and then a running back in the third round. And this has been a huge complaint of mine when anybody brings up that the Packers haven't taken a first-round wide receiver in so long. So what? Unless you're going to object that they haven't then drafted a great wide receiver. But in fact, they've had great wide receivers that are in the second round. So you can't even use that.
Nope.
What a knowledgeable Packer fan would say to me is pick a wide receiver in the second round. The history is incredible, and even in recent times. But
I think what people want, Homer, is they want a first-round pick that turns out to be like Chase or Jefferson. That's what that's what they're looking for, is that late first-round pick. Obviously, Chase was different, but Jefferson was a late first-round pick, and he's an absolute stud. He's a world beater, and that's what I think people would love to see. Obviously, everyone would love to see a Justin Jefferson on their team, no doubt. I mean, everyone would love to see it. But those guys, that's why there's not so many of them, because they're rare, and that's the way it goes.
my answer to them is I'll take a Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams.
Yeah, they were pretty damn good too. We'll just say that.
Yes,
we'll just say that.
And the debate could be, hey, Homer, you can't do that forever. They've done it for a long time, and as a result, able to do other things. But yes, they haven't had a all-world, but somebody should check, and they can, the Institute, how many wide receivers have been taken early and how many turned out to be as good as the ones you mentioned. My guess is it's not as automatic as. And what's been almost automatic is the Packers when drafting a second-round wide receiver.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back, or the Institute can. I'm busy. I got to work on not yelling. Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94, we do have some delays from about 20th Street all the way to about Hawley Road. The eastbound side, not too bad, just a little slow right in the stadium interchange. Northbound 43 backing up from State all the way to Keefe. Southbound slowing down right through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. You're pretty much slow all the way down to the KK River. And then on southbound 41, we got delays between Silver Spring and Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight. Clearing skies, cold with a low of 22. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 39. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, carbless Mango Vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4 packs of the new carbless Mango Vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
Alex Ovechkin with goal number 895, the greatest goal scorer in NHL history, Smalls.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think anyone could break this record ever?
No. Alex Ovechkin is such a special talent, and yes, another one could come along, but I don't know, it's just really hard for me to envision it. Now, listen, Gretzky's points record, I can firmly say I don't think that will never be touched. It's unbelievable how many points he was able to put up in his career. Was it 2,857? No, I don't think anyone's ever going to touch that one. But I don't know, Evan. I think that this might be one of those records that we see stand the test of time.
Is there a record you don't want to see broken?
No, because I love greatness and I want to watch it happen in real time. I want any record that there is, somebody to at least be in the conversation about breaking it.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour at YouTube. Go to ESPN Milwaukee. The people have decided that the way they can get me to stop yelling is just have questions. It's hard to yell when you're just asking a question for Bryan, which I'll do in a second. ESPN's Fantasy Focus Football Podcast coming to Green Bay on the 23rd. Live show at the Tundra Trio. ESPN Wisconsin wants to send you and a friend up to Green Bay to see the show happen live. Right now, caller 1-800-990-3776. 2 tickets to ESPN's Fantasy Focus Football Live at the Tundra Trio. See the show up close, meet all the hosts, and get complimentary, I call it free, food and drinks and Fantasy Focus Football Podcast merchandise. Free. They can't make you pay. Yeah, we'll get to you. It's $5. No. Caller 1-800-990-3776 right now. Visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com for full details. Well, Bryan, if you ask for calls or questions, Bryan, did you watch the Duke game, the loss to Houston, and that style of collapse? Is it analogous? It's a little too big a word, but is it similar to the way you lost to Seattle in 2015? They're tough.
Wow. Yeah, that's nice. I did watch the game, and I don't know if I ever, I certainly didn't compare the two at the time. And looking back at it, I don't know if I want to compare the two, because I don't really look at what Duke did as like making, I guess, a bunch of mistakes because like they missed shots, right? Like you look at what they did, like they didn't make a ton of mistakes, right? Like they didn't. I don't know. Like
I'll join your club. What the Packers did over a stretch of time is worse than what the Duke did, but they were ahead by 6, I think, with a few seconds left, 30 seconds left. So, but I will ask you, but that loss that you had against Seattle was the worst loss as far as a game ever. The hardest loss was when the Packers lost in the Super Bowl to Denver. But that's because I was as big an idiot as the team and did not fully realize how good Denver was and should have. That was not a major upset. Denver was supposed to win the Super Bowl the year before. They got upset by Jacksonville, and they beat Pittsburgh and Kansas City back-to-back on the road before the Super Bowl, something the Packers that year were not capable of doing. But it's more than you needed to know. I did want to save you some time from speaking too much about that Seattle game.
No, I mean, the Seattle game is. I'll be speaking about that for a long time because it's one of the more painful ones. But we made just countless error after error after error that let Seattle right back into that and allowed them to get to overtime, right? And once they got to overtime, they got the ball first and dealt the final blow, right? Like, and that's the way it went. It should have never gotten to overtime. So, the game against Duke. I mean, I get it. I think you said down 6 with 30 seconds or whatever it was. I don't know what it was, but that wasn't the case for us. We just made a bunch of mistakes starting from essentially the middle of the third quarter on, and that's how Seattle ended up winning that game.
If I were you, and there are a lot of times I wish I was Bryan Bulaga. I think a lot of people do. I'm in the club. I got a ring. And so they still never should have lost it, but I'm still there. The people on that team that don't have a ring, and it's not like they lost it in the Super Bowl, but that's what would hurt for, like, I got a chance.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, it's certainly, there were guys that are on that team that, should have one, right? Like you look at, I'm fairly certain like Julius doesn't have one. I don't think Julius Peppers won a Super Bowl, but he should have one, right? Like a guy like that should have a Super Bowl ring. Just like stuff like guys like that should. Like you just look at things like that. Like you look at a lot of the guys that were on that team, like the Mike Daniels of the world, and Corey Lindsley, Dave Bakhtiari, like those guys should have Super Bowl rings. Yeah. Like, and they don't. And that's the tough part about that. Like, and how good that team was. And Devontae Adams, another one, should have a Super Bowl ring. Like, that's the wild part about it.
And tell us, because I was in the locker room when they want to know it, but tell us what it feels like. I can't imagine in the locker room, you can just sit down and go, we're the world champions. We're the best. Every player may take it differently, but there just has to be incredible joy, or I don't know the exact word.
I mean, it's joy. I mean, it's overwhelming joy. Like you do, like it's almost like you're celebrating, but you like sit down and you like take a breath and all like everything all the work that you had put in from the start to that point, you like literally almost recap it and take it all in 1 minute, seeing everyone enjoy themselves, right? Like, and you just recap all the work that it took to get to that. And then all the emotions come and it hits you again from when you celebrated on the field with your family and your teammates. And then you're in the locker room with everyone. And it's even more personal because you're back in there with everybody. And it's just it's a surreal moment. Like, it's very hard to describe, and how bad I wanted that again. After from a rookie, to experience that again. That's why that game
feeling,
hurts.
Right? That feeling after the game. Yeah.
Yes. Like that's like chasing that. That's the thing. Like, it's chasing that, like understanding and how bad I wanted that again. And the guys that were in that first one, they understood it too. Like, chasing that feeling again is always the motivation, but that's what hurt the most in that Seattle game was being so close to getting to. There's no guarantees playing the Patriots, obviously, in the Super Bowl. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no guarantee when you go against Bill Belichick, not just for the first, but the second time in a season is what we would have been doing again, right? But going against them for the second time, there's no guarantee. But we beat them, and we felt good about potentially playing the Patriots again, if that's who it were to be, right? Like, if you were to go play them again, we felt good about our team. Obviously, they felt good about their team, but we felt like we could beat anybody. But at the same time, you chase that feeling, and you want that. And the guys to lose that one and not be able to potentially experience that again is I think, what hurts guys the most that experienced that back in 2010.
Well, you may have. You certainly got something I'm going to steal forever. But to want to win another title is to chase that feeling. That's why, of all the crazy things that Aaron Rodgers has said, if I could ask him one question, that's what I would ask him. You told some story about how you felt right after the game or whatever, or on the bus or something, and you said, "Is this all there is?" And I can't remember what his exact phrase was. And I said, I'll never believe that. I don't know why. That can't be the case.
And yeah, I mean, that to me, it's because, and I can't speak for him, and I don't know what he went through after that game and what his experience was, right? Like, I have no idea. I don't know. I know my experience and the guys that, because I'm going to be honest, after that game, the last time I saw him was holding that trophy on the stage. I didn't see him again. I might have saw him for like 5 minutes at the party, and don't quote me on it, because at that point I might have been I don't know how many drinks I was deep at that point, so it might not even been him. But like, I didn't see him again.
But you would assume he would have the same feeling, and I think an additional feeling to know that he was a huge part in all of these players having a certain feeling. And it's not like you say, I won it for them, but you know your role. You know the things that you did, and that's even an even better feeling. So I'd look forward to what his answer would be, because he could say I'm wrong, and I go, that's fine, I'll never believe you. I'll never believe you. I can't. Just as you said, chase that feeling. Why?
Yeah.
Because that feeling is so good.
Yeah, you can't even describe it. It's almost impossible. It's impossible to describe it.
Fourth quarter coming up next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Coming up live on Tuesday, a special edition of On the Tee. They're letting us go for 2 hours talking about the year's first major down at Augusta. Join me, Gabe Neitzel, and PGA Tour Live Stephen Watson as we have our picks to click. Our favorite things, the traditions of Augusta. Plus, we are going to be joined by a couple of kids from Wisconsin who are participating in the Drive, Chip, and Putt contest. Special edition of On the Tee, 2 hours starting at noon on Tuesday, right here, 94.5 ESPN.
April Brewers action rounds out with the matchup against the Tigers and Athletics. Catch the series opener April 14th as the first 10,000 fans get a Brewers t-shirt designed by Unfinished Legacy. Then get Brewers collectibles at back-to-back games against the Athletics. First up, Peanuts Night on April 18th, featuring a Franklin Bobble with special tickets. And don't miss a Brewers football jersey for the first 25,000 fans April 19th. Get set for an action-packed April at Brewers.com.
Junior Achievement of Wisconsin has had business technology from James Imaging Systems for several years. Lori Salzman, Vice President of Enterprise Services, explains why.
We started with the document imaging, and I have to say that the service and support has been fantastic.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company.
I've never met an organization that is so responsive to make sure that we are up and running all the time for us to be more efficient efficient and allow us to focus more on the work that we do for helping young people.
Lori, what's your recommendation to others that aren't getting that kind of attention from their business technology company?
Please call James Imaging because they will work with you to make sure that you find a solution that can make you more efficient and productive.
Make the call, 262-781-7700, or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Attend Biz Expo May 13th at Brookfield Conference Center and the keynote on resilient leadership, thriving in challenging times. Stay for the strategy seminars and connect with customers. Biz Expo is May 13th. Register at biztimes.com/bizexpo.
There's a winning magic powering up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. This April, prepare for an exciting quest to $300,000 in the Enchanted Spin Slot Tournament. Just conjure your rewards card and play slots to earn drawing entries. Each Thursday, 60 winners will compete for thousands in cash and prizes. Let your journey begin with Enchanted Spins, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No limit. Pay no interest until 2030, plus $500 off your home improvement project. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Until justice stands for all, our lawyers will never rest. More at earthjustice.org/neverrest. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
It'll be the title of a book when somebody wants to win another title. Chase that feeling if it hasn't been already. I hope you get an appropriate amount of money, Bryan Bulaga. Dr. Aaron Holterbeck and his team was there at their Brookfield office, and it was clear to me they want to make vision care a top priority, whatever your age, whatever your situation, with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art office. Dr. Holterbeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years, but he wanted to get even better, deal with more things, more problems at more ages. And so he recently added to his team the addition of Dr. Nausheen Abbas and the area of expertise there. So don't mess with your vision, whatever the age, whatever the problem. Trust the experts from Holterbeck Eye Center in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holterbeck.com. The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Are you ready for the Discount Liquor Twitter poll question?
Yep.
Do you want Aaron Rodgers to play for the Vikings next season? Yes or no?
Do I want to personally?
Do you personally want Aaron Rodgers to play for the Vikings next season?
If he's going to play, yes. If he's going to play, I would like him to play for the Vikings. Yeah.
And my answer is hell no. Because the Vikings, I believe, will be better with Aaron Rodgers than with this rookie quarterback. And everything, I'm yelling again, everything is important as it relates to the Green Bay Packers. I want the Vikings to be as bad as they can. Now, if you're telling me, Bryan Bulaga, that you want that because you think Aaron Rodgers is horrible and he's over the hill, he's done, and so the Vikings will stink with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, then I will join your club. I don't think you're saying that.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it from a friend perspective, that if he goes to a team, I want my friend to go to a team that's good, and that would be the Vikings, and where he would be successful. I get that Packers fans don't want to hear that, but I will say this. It would make for very entertaining games. I will say that. Make for very entertaining games. Make the division better, too. That's for sure.
You have reinforced what Tony Smith has tried to teach me about, because I would go, Bryan, think of all the Packer fans. They want the Vikings to stink. And you said it twice, my friend. As Tony Smith says, you fans don't get it. It's a job. It's a job. We like playing the sport, whatever it is. He's a friend. That trumps all this other stuff, right? I mean, it's...
Listen, I understand that. I don't want the Vikings to be great either, but if I'm picking where Aaron gets to go between Pittsburgh or Minnesota, and I have the final say, I'd rather have him go to Minnesota where he can be successful.
Again, I get a chance. We should do a segment on this show. Homer wants to be Bryan Bulaga. Because if I were you, I wouldn't just say yes. I would say, I want what's ever best for him. Hell yes. That's a better team. I have a ring. And one of the major reasons I have a ring is because of that guy. And in addition, he's a friend. So if that means some people in Green Bay are going to hate me, all I can do is explain it and hope they understand. How'd I do as Bryan Bulaga? Did I do okay?
That's pretty good. And you know what? I hope they don't hate me for it. I just think, I think that Green Bay at this point should be able to. I think if they get Aaron, obviously the team, Minnesota will be much better. I think they would be very good. But I still think Green Bay could beat them. I still think Green Bay can beat that team. I really do. They're going to have to play better than they did last year, obviously. But Green Bay wasn't playing great football last year at both times they played Minnesota. So we didn't really get to see the best version of Green Bay when they played Minnesota last year. So hopefully this year, this coming year, if Aaron were there, they, would be playing that. But it doesn't sound like that's going to be an option. So it's a nice question. I gave an answer, but it doesn't sound like it's actually going to happen, so to speak.
Yes, we have an answer on Twitter. And again, I emphasize on Twitter, I can handle anything because it's just one person. I don't care. He hasn't been on the team in 2 years, yet we cover him like he is. Even on the Jets, it was constant. I can't speak for everybody else, Doug, but I follow him and everything in the NFL as it relates to the Green Bay Packers and him playing. And clearly, there is some truth to his wish to play there, or however you want to put it. If he plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, significantly less interest in coverage other than when they play. And the Jets was the same way. But I don't care who it is. If you play for the Minnesota Vikings in an important position, you're of interest to this show.
Yep.
So, all right.
Isn't it hard not to? If I'm just saying real quick, he's a Hall of Famer and the best player to ever play quarterback for the team. He's always going to have some interest, no matter what.
Well, that's where we differ. No, he's dead to me. Dead. Like Don Hudson. Like Don Hudson. Yes, he doesn't play. He serves no benefit to me anymore. Now, when he comes back and they honor him in the Hall of Fame, yes. But, it's like a dead pet. I love the pet. Quote me on that one. You have the greatest line of chase the feeling, and I have like a dead pet. I hope I see Aaron Rodgers that goes, did you actually compare me to a dead pet? Yep. Raja, our dead pet, loved him. Dead.
Unbelievable.
Next, national radio.
We've got some delays along northbound 43 from just before Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keith. The southbound side has cleared up nicely. No more delays there.